Hey there, I hope you're doing well today. I'd love to hear where you're watching from this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening. I guess that kind of depends on where you're at, but hopefully you can hear me okay. Music is at a good volume and all that. If you got any problems with that, let me know, and I will try to make adjustments on my end. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started here, and let me, I guess, get my camera going here. All right, hey there, officially. Good to see you. We're going to go ahead and get started here. And what we're planning on doing here is, if you've not been on one of my streams before, really all I do is just code along live. I haven't looked at this project ahead of time. I don't work on it ahead of time. Really, my goal is just to code along with it live so you can kind of see my process. Sometimes that ends up bombing. Sometimes that ends up going fine. And sometimes I need help from the chat. But I figured it's helpful for me to actually kind of test my knowledge and see where I'm weak and what I can learn. And that's where a lot of my videos come from anyhow. And then I feel like it's also helpful for you to see that too. That's kind of the whole point of the channel, is coding in public. So I figured I should probably code in public, whatever the consequences. So about every other week, I try to just do a live stream. You can see here I've got a Frontend Mentor project pulled up, and volume's good. Awesome. Great. You can see I've got this project pulled up, and really what I'm going to do is just start from scratch. I'd like to use React today, and I don't know what I'll use for CSS. If I'll just use standard CSS. Maybe since I did that post CSS video recently, maybe we could just do post CSS and do like the preset env and use some native nesting from CSS or something. So maybe we'll do that. But I'm going to jump in right now, just kind of start from scratch. I've downloaded the code, I pulled it up in my code editor, and I've got the README or the index.html page pulled up, but that's it. I haven't super looked through it. It looks like I've got a mobile and desktop design. And did they give me like instructions? Oh, here we go. Distinguish between unread and read. Mark all as read. Is there a mark all button somewhere? Okay. And then there's like a 3 up top. View the optimal layout for the interface depending on their device's screen size. Okay. Verb focus states for all interactive. So there must be some kind of hover state they show me, because I'm not seeing it here. Okay. So that's what I know. I know what you know right now. So let's go ahead and pull this up. Let's see. I'm going to open my sidebar. These are just all the standard files. I think I'm going to create, last time I did this, I think I created a folder inside of here, a directory inside of here where we actually worked on stuff. So I think we'll do the same thing here. All right, so let me pull this up here if I can get it working. And let's use pnpm create vite at latest, and that should allow us to spin something up. There's a weird bug in pnpm right now doing weird stuff, but I think it's still working here. Okay, so you get some error randomly with pnpm right now on Mac. I'm not sure why. I looked it up last night. It looks like it's something they're gonna remove. Bring me over to the Next.js side. One thing at a time, Dante. I can only learn so much. Let's see. What are we going to call this? Let's call it notifications app, like that. And then we'll go React. Let's just use JavaScript. All right. We'll cd into the notifications app. And pnpm I. All right. Looks like my ligatures aren't working, or my icons aren't working here. I must have changed up my terminal font randomly. Okay, so let me think through kind of what we're going to want. I want to actually pull this from live data. We could do something like getting a server up and running, but I feel like, judging on my past streams where I tried to do too much, I think I'd rather get something working, and then we can kind of refactor later if we want to. So maybe I'll just do this in state, just like literally put an object in state and write it all out. I think that, and then we can transfer it over to like Json-server or something like that. So I think that's maybe where I'll start. Let me pull up in the sidebar here. So we should have this notifications app. This is what we're going to be playing with right here now. So I think let's start like that. And let me go ahead and pull up this sequential paste thing. And let's think through kind of the different things we'll need, and we can look at the image over here to double check. So it looks like all of these have a name that the thing is from. They all have an image. Let's see. Then they have an activity, or like whatever the thing was. And then sometimes they have I guess that would be like a link. There's some that are private and some that are not. And then some have pictures. Okay. So let's copy the name out as a separate thing. All of this is a separate thing. All of this is a separate thing. And then how many minutes ago or something like that. So, because they all have that as well. All right, so this is going to be a little bit monotonous to type all this out, but sometimes that happens when I'm coding it live. I don't know if you'd prefer I do this kind of stuff ahead of time and then just jump in, let me know, but I kind of feel like the point of coding it live is to code it live. So so this is like a private message. Okay, so let's start with that, and let me come in here. Let's open up this, and I think what I'm going to do is quite literally, we'll just use the state right here. We'll say something like notifications and set notifications, and I'm going to set this quite literally to this, just an object in here. I think that's what I'm going to do. Swap it out later. Okay, Dante agrees. That's what we're going to do. All right. So if we were going to have this on like some kind of server, we'd probably have it say something like notifications and then be an array in here. But for now, we'll just have it as an array, and we can add that kind of stuff in later. So let's see, for each of these, I probably do want something unique. So assuming this will be JSON later, let's go ahead and add it like it is. Let me make sure I'm not missing any chats. No. Okay. Then we have the person who did the thing. Let's call that person the author. And inside here, we'll have the author's name, right? I think. So I'll sequentially paste that in. We'll also have, they're going to need like a thumbnail. Let's just call it image maybe. And right now we'll just say that points to, actually I'm pretty sure I would have that, right? Assets. Oh, not in there. Oh, here. Okay, so maybe I just grab all the fonts and the images and grab them in their images. Avatar. So it's just the avatar of the person's name. It's a WP. Okay. So let's see. We'll go like this. I'm up one level. No. Just like that in the same directory. Assets, images, mark, weber.mwm, webp, like that. All right. Now, if you click on their name, I'm assuming it's supposed to take you somewhere. So let's call this like href. And for now, we'll just point it nowhere. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. That's pretty much everything about that person. Okay. All right, next, let's say whatever they've said is just the text. So let's paste that in there next. And then sometimes there'll be a link. And I think we could just call that link. And then let's make this an object. Right? I think so. And then what we do is say like text or something like that. And that would be the thing. And then here again, maybe we'd say href. And for right now, this will point nowhere. Got to remember to put these commas in. Okay, so the other things I have are, I guess like the time. I could do like a date based off something and then like calculate to this, but let's not overcomplicate our lives. All right, and then I want to know whether or not it's been read. So what do I call that? I guess I could just call it webp. What did I say? Oh, yeah. Look at that. It's even yelling at me. Thanks. Webp. New image format. So let's just call this like has seen or something. Ugh, that's dumb. Let's call it has been read. That's no better. But for right now, let's see. These first several are the ones that are, so this will be false to start with. And this needs to be a Boolean. Now, some of them are going to have that private message, so I need to remember to add that in later, but I think, kind of feel like that might be everything we need. Okay, so let's copy this down and let's duplicate the same thing. This will be 2. This will be whatever this is. Angela Gray. And while I'm typing this in, if you want to chat with me, keep me company, that would be great, since this is going to take a while. So we're not going to have a link on her. We do have minutes ago. Okay, we'll come in here. You want to work with dates in JavaScript? No, I don't. One of these days I want to get around to looking at the new temporal API, but I just haven't had a chance yet. Jacob Thompson. Let's see, this guy has a link as well. So we'll take his text. And then let me go ahead and copy down this link. Like this. All right, and we will paste this in here. Let me just hide that to make it a little bit easier. Has been read false, so that's all still true. Copy this down again. Only like 7 left, people. We're getting there. All right, this guy, and I actually have a little shortcut thing that'll slugify this for me, so let me just add that in like that. He has some text. There is no link, but let me copy this down first so I don't forget about that. And then I'll get rid of this. Let's see, he does have however many days ago. This guy, though, has a private message. So we'll do something like that, and then I'll paste that in there. And let's see, I'm getting yelled at because of something. We'll do that, okay? I think that works, and I got through all my sequential paste stuff, so let's move back over here. All right, a little bit left. Kimberly Smith. Now here there's an image, so I got to remember about that. Oh, only 3 left, okay. And there's another Nathan Peterson. Okay, so this whole thing reacted to your post, and then all of this is a link. 2 weeks ago, Anna Kim left the group, and then this is the link 2 weeks ago. All right, so we'll call that good from over there. True 3, 4, 5. So let's start with this. Let me hide this so that I can use the Slugify thing. All right, and then she did something. She commented on a picture. Now here we don't have a link, but I do have an image. So we could say, let's call this image. And then would I have this link to something? Probably. This should probably be source too, but maybe I'll change all those at the same time. So let's call this, let's see, chess. Is that what this is? Yeah. So image chess, okay? So right here, right? Yeah. Assets, images, image chess dot web p. Notification pop-up component of my app. Hey, nice. Well, I'm not sure this will be app ready, but hopefully thinking through some of this might be a help. Okay, has been read. This is true. Should probably also change these out. That's true as well. James Thompson is the one who's not. Okay, so we're good there. Let's copy this down here. And we'll go 6. I think this is correct. If you have another way to do this, let me know before I finish doing all this. Oh, I forgot about 1 week ago. Okay. Week ago. All right, now we'll add this in here. Slugify this. I wish they gave some of these things to you in like a format that wasn't just static HTML, but that's all right. This guy did something, and he does have a post here. Is that what I called this? Link. All right, and this was text for the link. Hey there, welcome. Yeah, I'm planning on probably moving it over to some kind of JSON eventually, but I've gotten in trouble in the past and trying to bite off too much, so I'm just going to put it in state for now. So, but I'm writing it in JSON so I can do that. That's the plan. All right, 2 weeks ago, is that everything? I got one left. Okay. Let's copy this down. Close the sidebar, close that. I'm not sure why I've got so much stuff open. 7 and a Kim. Slickify that. Drop this in here. Anna Kim did a thing. She left the group. Let's see. Is there a link? Chess Club. And I think, I'm sure we'll find some errors in that, but I think that's mostly there. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're good there. Okay. Why is this yelling at me? Well, I think we'll be good. Okay. So now we got that. Let's actually get something up and running. So we'll say pm run dev. And this is that pm error you're getting these days. And it looks like it's something they're going to pull on their end. Let's see. What did I do wrong? 22, 27. What is this? What am I not seeing here? Sequential paste. Oh, it's just I have a paste program called PasteBot, and you can sequentially paste, so copy stuff and then paste it back in the order you copied it, and it's helpful for me when I'm filling stuff out. So it's not like anything except for an app I have. What is this thing yelling at me for? 22, 27. Do you see what's going on here? I'm adding a comma or missing a comma somewhere. Maybe that. I mean, there's not supposed to be trailing commas here, but I doubt that's the problem because this isn't JSON. All right, so if you see what I'm doing wrong here or see any errors that I'm missing, these are spell check things, these blue underlines. This isn't spelled correctly, so we can fix that too. I don't think that was the problem, but is it this use state somehow? Hey, yeah, you're welcome. Maybe it's that. I don't know. All right, let's try again. All right, I changed something. All right, so now we got something up and running. Let's close all this stuff down just because I don't need to see all that. And let's strip this out. And I think what we should do is worry about getting this stuff functional, and then we'll do design. Now, I've got some kind of CSS already native to this V app, so I'll have to get rid of that in a second. But for now, we're just going to loop through all of our data. Now, eventually, it would be something where, like, if we had notifications, so if we'd be fetching, so we do, like, notifications, then I don't know that I need a separate component. It's literally just one thing, so... AirLens extension. Yeah, I actually use AirLens myself normally. So recently I switched over to where I'm using my personal profile and I'm using a profile just for the channel because I've had some concerns about readability or like some of the things I like to do, like ligatures and things like that. So You'll have to let me know what you think of that, number one. And number two, if you want to know how to set up multiple VS Code profiles, I haven't quite like zoomed in exactly what I want this to look like in VS Code or for my channel, but I use AirLens myself when I'm coding. And I have up until today on the channel for the last several months at least. So here what we would do is, yeah, if that's the case, then we would take notifications and map over these. And I think what we'll do, see, they've all got an ID, so let's just list those out. So we'll call it like notification. See, all my ligatures are gone. It's so sad, but it's fine. It actually helps me get set up a little faster. What I want dot ID. What am I? Oh, I always forget that this is not a function. I'm just returning an object. All right, there we go. No, I gotta actually put this in template. Goodness, Chris. All right, there we go. So there's our 7 posts. Just joined in. Hope you're not too late. Nah, we haven't done anything except type out JSON. So, and someone would even say you've been blessed to have missed having to sit through that. All right, so let's go ahead and let me pull up one of these images of whatever it's supposed to look like. Let's see, where's the design? And let's just split that so that I can kind of see generally what I've got to code out. And let's just lay these things out in a way that makes sense in HTML. I'm not going to create a separate component because I'm literally going to pass. I mean, I guess we can extract this later if we want, but I think that's just a waste of time at this point. So it looks like each of these things, let's just put them each in a div. And we're going to have to, so we'll do a div, and it needs a key with n.id. And this will be a div like that. Okay. All right, so inside here, we're going to have images on the left. So yeah, so let's just do an image tag. And let's come back up to, let's remove that first, come back up here, because I think I was going to change out all these images like this to src, and that should work. Yeah, okay. I did Command-Shift-L to grab all those in case you're curious. Image src is in.src, and then let's do an alt as, let's see, can I remember what we did? The in.author.name. And close that off. Well, that failed spectacularly, but our names are working, so that's good. Maybe I just did this wrong. Avatar. These are in my assets folder. Images. Avatar. Oh, that's what I forgot. Okay. So if I come in here, grab all these and do avatar / that person. Right? Assets, images, avatar. Why is that not working? Okay, well. Images, avatar. That should be working, right? All right, well, I'm going to close it down for now. If you see what I did wrong, let me know, but let's just keep moving. Everything else here will be inside of another div, I think. So this is basically going to have up to 3 items in it, because we've got this actually up to 4 items, but I think this will be its own separate thing. So maybe let's do that one next. And what we'll do is say, hey, welcome. Bakur, hopefully that's correct. Let's say if in dot image, I think is what I called that, exists, then I want to return this. Okay, I think that's right. And then here what we do is do in.image.src, and then I guess we also need an alt tag for that. So we'll do image dot alt is what we'll end up calling that. And then we said that this was going to be in a link tag, if I remember correctly. So I'll add this in a link tag. Close this out. And then this can be href to in.image.href, I think. Let's come back over here. I should have just put this in a separate file so I could toggle it quickly. Text image. Okay, so let's give this an alt. Oops. Alt, and we'll call it something like image of, or I don't need to say image, chess game. Sure. Okay. I think there's a way to toggle the openness of this. I love this kind of content. Hey, nice. Well, hopefully you still love it as we get going here. Hopefully we don't get stuck too much. Somehow these images aren't working. I'm not sure. Oh, I'm using React. I need to import these. So, yeah, or I could put them in the public folder. Maybe I should just do that. So let's do that. Yeah, I guess either way I got to import them. We'll get back around to that. Okay. All right, so we've got that image. Now let's get this inner section. So this will be a div as well. And we'll come back and add classes to all this stuff in a second, but I've got an author. So this is going to be a link, and we'll point this to the in.author.href, and then close that off. And inside here we'll have just, I guess, their name, right? So in.author.name. And I don't remember if we had anything else. So let's keep going. This will just be a paragraph. This will be in or move the images public folder. Yeah, that's, I should just update the state, but let's finish this out and then I'll move it. I'll update the state and that should work, I think. This will be in.text, I think. There we go. And then let's do the same thing we did down below where we say in dot private message. Nope. First, let's look at link. If that exists, then we're going to return some JSX here, and this will be, I guess it needs to be a link, and we'll say this equals in.link.href, right? And then inside here will be in.link.text. I think that's right. Okay. Look at this. All right. Now what we need is some kind of state to know if, what should this be? I mean, it could just be like a span. We just need to know if it's been read or not. Yeah. So maybe let's just do a class of is read or something like that. Let's see, can we just template this out? Let's just say it's a span, and then if n dot, that's another reason. I mean, I should have has been read. Okay, I'm tired of toggling this. Let's just leave it open for now, I guess. Has been read. Then I think I can do it like this. It's been a while since I've tried this in a class, but is unread. That's probably what I should have called this. Unread. Can I do this? I don't think I can do this. I forget how to do this? And so let's just comment this out for now, and you let me know. Let's change out all these though to is unread. And then these need to be falses, so we'll have to switch all these around, but I think that makes more sense to me. False, 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 true, true, and true. Span is not closed. Oh, that's what was yelling at me. Oh, yeah, you're right. Maybe that was the only problem. Maybe. I think that worked. Thanks. All right, let's see what else we have. So this is all going to need to be in its own little section. So let's wrap this and a div. Let's start naming this stuff. So we'll be like post or something like that. Text. That's a stupid name. That's all right. All right, and then below here, let's see, off to the side is where we're going to have this image. Below here, though, we'll have the time. So this will just be like time or something like that. Why is this thing not expanding? There we go. And then here we can say in dot time. Perfect. Okay. 1 day ago. And then sometimes there'll be a private message. So here we can say private. Actually, we need to do the same thing here. And private message, if that exists, then give me this. We'll go private message. Why not? And here we'll say n.private message. I think that's all I gave it. Yeah. Okay. All right, so I think that's everything. Let's just switch out all of these here to that. What did I mess up? Import React logo. Did I delete that or something? Now this should work, right? Because it's in the public folder. All right, let me know what I'm doing wrong there, but let's keep going. Let me go ahead and close this down because I think we got, actually, I'm going to need to open to see what's going on. And I guess we also need to add a couple other things up top. So let me close this down now that stuff's mostly coming in. If you could see what I'm doing with the images, let me know. I assume changing over to the public folder would work, but clearly not. So above this notification section, we need two things. I'm going to need, I guess the whole thing needs to be in like some kind of card, but I guess what I can do is take all of this here, right here, right? Oh, right here. Okay, let's wrap this. And we'll just call this container. And then I guess inside the container, right here, we need to say something like, so this will be another div. Maybe this is kind of a header. So I'm going to call this the header. And then we'll have two sections. This is, I guess, really the H1 at this point because there's nothing else on the page. And this will say notifications. And next to this, so we should wrap this in something called like, well, I guess this could, let's wrap it in something. So let's call it like notification, I would just title. All right, and then here we'll have a badge. So let's call this, let's have it a span with a class of badge on it. And here for now, we'll just see, we're going to have like derived state here. So really what we need is to know notifications dot, we need to, we just need to filter all the notifications that have notification dot is, what do we call that? Unread. Into author.src. And author.src. I think you might be right. Hey. Nice. Okay, and then over here, this must be src as well. In.image.src. Maybe I forgot to switch this over. Maybe this is href. Nope. Let's go check that out. Where are you at? Image src. Oh, it's because I added avatar to this. All right, details. Hey, thank you. All right, is unread. We just want to get all of them that have that set to true, right? And then we want to, let's come up top here, right? We just want the length of that, right? Let's pull this out up top just so I can see what's going on. So let's console.log this, pull it up. And let me first of all get this. It's an array of 0. So what am I doing wrong? It is I'm looping through these and I'm checking is in red if it's true. Oh, I can't spell. That's all. Length 3. Okay. So just another spelling error, not the first of today. So let's come back inside here and all right, there we go. So now I'm getting 3. That's good. The other thing I need is a button on the other side of this header. ID, let's call this mark. Sure. We'll just say mark all as red. Okay, so we got everything officially mostly working. Mark Weber isn't working. Mark Weber, what's the matter with you? Images Mark Weber. Well, it's because I can't spell Mark. Okay, so we got everything in there. Let's do this. Let's just worry about getting some kind of functionality working. So what I want is when I click any individual message, I want to clear this span. So maybe let's start by, let's see, I'm assuming I have some kind of CSS file in here already. Yeah, so you can, yeah, we'll leave all that for now. And what I want to know is if this is red, let's height, if this is red, unread class is on, then what I can do is set this width to, I don't know, 18 pixels. Let's do height the same, and we'll do background color is red. Is in red. Well, I didn't put anything in here, so this should have this class though, right? What do you not like about me? Class name. Oh. How do you feel about that now? Feeling all right? So I should have is unread. Is this unread? What is that? Yeah, it should be that, right? I thought I could do it like this. Let's just add it to all these for now. Or maybe we just do the whole span. Let's just return the whole span because I'm not sure why that's not working and I forget exactly how to do that. Yeah, I really do see the channel as like I'm literally learning in public. I'm not like a professional web developer. I've never been trained. I just started playing around with it several years ago, and then I learned best by teaching, and I have no problem at all, just coding and messing up. It doesn't bother me at all to do that in public. I think it's helpful for me, and you guys are honestly way more gracious than you should be towards me. Class name again. Goodness. Okay. All right, and this is in red. Should be coming in here. Display block. Okay, there we go. And we'll do border radius of 100 view width. How about Vmax just to make sure? Okay. All right. Now what I want to do is make it to where I'm guessing when you click on the entire thing, that's when it would, like anywhere you click on it, I would think. So maybe, like, yeah, I can do a click on this div, but how to make my colors look like this? What do you mean by colors? Like my CSS colors? Like this? And this one isn't there, but if I did something like that, you can see it there. There's an extension called color something that I've used for a while. Color highlight. I think Wes Boss turned me onto that. So like most things I know, they started with Wes Boss and then I slowly corrupted them over time. But so I'm not sure if he still wants credit for any of that. But yeah, Wes is, I think, has been a huge help to me. So what we're going to do is have an on-click here handler. And what I want to do is pass this when it's clicked. Then I want to fire a function called handle notification click or something like that. And we'll pass it the in.id. I think that should work. Then I'm going to come up top here. Let's close this out for the 5,000th time. And we'll do function. And this will take in an ID, right? Make sure I'm not missing anything else. Okay. So then what I think I want to do here is, let's say, let's just keep it simple. So let's say set notifications. See, should I make this the same function for marking it all? All right, awesome. Yeah. Let's take my previous notifications, because that's we've got mutated state here. Oops. So like this. Hey, yeah, you're welcome. Then let's just, I guess, map through them, right? And we'll take the notification, and then I'll say notification.id. If that equals to the ID I passed in, then I want to set the, say, I guess I got to spread in the rest of the properties and then just update the in.is unread, right? To, I don't need in, I just need is unread, right? And this just needs to be equal to, I think the opposite of is unread. Otherwise, I just return n, right? I think. Okay. So if I click this, it all breaks. Perfect. Okay. Is unread. So I'm just spreading in all those properties, right? Let's first of all just make sure that this, oh, you know what? I'm treating this like it's in an object, which I guess we can just put it in an object, because that's what it's eventually going to be when we get it to JSON. So maybe we should just do that. And then it's yelling at me again. What am I messing up on this? Oh, then I need to pass it some kind of name, right? And then what I need to do is come down here, right? No, I mean, I would get back an array, even though it's going to be set like that in the JSON. So let's leave that there. Okay, so then what I want is, as I'm looping through each of these, they are each objects. So yeah, that should work, right? So I take each object, I loop through it. If it equals the ID, then I'm going to spread in. See, I guess I don't need to like do this. What am I messing up here? Should not be this difficult. Unread is not defined. Well, it's a property on the thing. All right. That is what I call it, right? Is unread. It should just be the opposite of whatever it is. I guess I'd always want to turn this to false. Right? Maybe that was the problem. I was setting it to, maybe? Yeah, okay. All right, so that's it. So we did all the things. Now what we need to do is do one more for this button. Then we'll style it. And then if we somehow have time, because that took forever, we'll load this from JSON and stuff like that. So let's do on click. Let's just run. I don't need to pass anything, right? So just mark all unread. Like that. Let's see if I do that, it's gonna, yeah. So I should be able to come up here. Function, mark all unread. And here what I want to do is set notifications. And I want to take the previous state. And I want to return basically, it should be the same thing, except in this case, I just want to spread in every n and set is unread to false. All right? Since I'm returning an object, I enclose that in parentheses maybe? Yeah, okay. And now this updates this state. Because it's derived state and I've got it set, it just updates automatically. So like if I click here, it goes to 2, 1. And they said I couldn't do functionality before design, but here we are actually doing that. All right, well, hopefully that was helpful walking through that with me. We're done with that, I think. Let's see, is there anything else I wanted to do there? I mean, there's always more to do, but let's call that good. Okay, design. Let's think through this. So let's go ahead and let's kill the server. And what I want to do, yeah, let's go ahead and do this. So I'm going to say pm let's do, I guess this is just a dependency, post CSS preset env. It's not big enough of a project to do a whole lot more than this, but I guess we could do auto prefixer while we're here. And we'll install all those things. Then I'll come in here and we'll do post CSS dot JS. No, that's not right. Post CSS dot config dot JS. This needs to be at the root level. Okay. Let's do post CSS preset env because I don't remember the exact language here. Where are we at? Where are you at, man? Okay, let's just do post CSS because I didn't see it within the first 5 seconds. So this is going to take me to the same place. No. Okay. All right. So here's what I want. Right here. And then this needs to have, let's do stage like 0, I think, because I think I need to have it. Yeah, I think that should work. Let's see, and this is an array of arrays. Plugins. That's really odd how they have that. All right, because then I would just do like auto prefixer. Doesn't seem right. pnpm run dev. Let's see if it even lets us do anything. Hey, we're doing things. Nope. Hard fail. Type module, it's coming. Okay, so I think I just need to rename this to common.js. All right. Let's get rid of this to start with. See if this works. If it doesn't, we'll just write normal CSS and go from there. Because this is not worth spending time on. I'm sure it's something dumb. Zero, like that syntax is super weird. I don't think that's how you normally do it. I mean, it is there. I just did this video last week, but you know, you don't memorize the syntax of config files. Let's see. I mean, Tailwind uses post CSS. Let's see what they do, because I think it's more like that. And then I will formally eject. And they've got a framework guide for Vite too. I'm pretty sure I remember. So it should just be. They don't make you install it because you don't have to. Yeah, like this. That's what I'm used to. Let's do that. And then this is just preset, post CSS preset env, and it has stage 0. And this should also be, why does this thing hate me? Oh, commas. Okay, let's try this again. And now if this doesn't work, we'll bail super hard. Just thinking about it. Who is they? They don't just... Thanks, Dante. All right, well, while that figures out if it wants to cooperate with us, let's come over here, and I guess we should also look at the style guide and see where actually... Okay, there we go. All right. Let's look at the style guide here. We've got 2 colors. Nope, we've got 95 colors. We'll use those. Typography, they give you this. Didn't they give me like the actual font file? Yeah, they did. Let's not overcomplicate it. Let's just grab fonts, Jakarta, and we need the 500 and the 800. And then let's copy this. Let's see. Close this stuff down. I guess let's just add it in. Actually, main.js. Where's my... Here we go. Okay. Let's call this notifications app 2. Notifications app. All right, and then we'll come back over this way. Let's start with a basic clear of everything. So we'll say box sizing is border box, margin 0. Somehow it's not working now. Padding 0. All right, and then this, we'll get rid of all this stuff. I don't need any of this or that, or that. Okay. Goodbye. Let's come in here then and then say, let's grab the root and we'll paste all our colors in here, which will error out on us, which is fine. Let's grab the body and let's set font family to Jakarta, I'm guessing. Sans serif. Okay, that didn't work. Let's go to my style guide plus Jakarta Sans. Get out of here. Sure. No, not download. Where's like the whole add thing? Let's go 500 on both of these. Maybe I added the wrong one too, so maybe it's good I came in here. Grab all these, then I'll come up here. Let's re-grab this because I think I may have just grabbed normal Jakarta instead of whatever this is. So get out of here. And then over here, this is where I'll add that. Okay. There we go. Font changed. Okay. See if I need anything else. Let's do line height, I guess, of like 1.5. Let's do user select none just to see if that plugin is actually working or not. So on the body. User select. Okay, so it is actually working. Now I'm getting other styling from somewhere else. Where's the other styling? Index.css. Get out of here. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and work on styling this stuff out. I guess we probably need to start with the colors as much as I'd rather just kind of move forward, but let's do it. Let's do that. So we're gonna grab these and double dash them, and let's just keep them at red and blue. And I think we'll just leave them as they have them displayed here. And let's do the same thing here. And let's see, we got the most L's, so let's do that. And then I'll change these out to white, gray, grayish, blue, dark, dark, very dark blue. Let's just grab spaces here, here, and add that. Let's come down here. Can I select that? Add them here. I'll add one more. Let's just grab all these at once. And add those. Okay, so I think that should work for our basic colors. All right. Let's come over here to our body then and say background color, I'm guessing is the very, not gray. Let's do var very light. Why is nothing working here for suggestions? Grayish blue might be this new profile I've got set up. Just to make sure this is working, let's do blue. Okay, it is working. Now everything is inside that container. So let's go ahead and also say, oops, that this is display grid, and this is place items center. And then let's do some padding of like 2 rem around the whole thing, something like that. Now this container itself is going to be, I'm guessing my white color, so background color var white. There we go. and then it has a border radius on it of some kind. So let's say, I guess we're going to have, let's go ahead and add these as variables, I guess. So we'll do radius small, and let's do like 0.5 rem. And then here I'll say border radius var radius small. Yeah, let's call that good. Now it does have some kind of drop shadow, right? I think. So let's do that. So we'll say box shadow. It looks like if anything, it's a little bit down. So I don't know, 4 pixels down, and then let's do like 2 rem of blur, and then let's do var grayish blue. Since I don't have the Figma file, I'm obviously kind of guessing on all this. That's not right. Let's do very light grayish, grayish blue. Very subtle. Too subtle? Some might say that. Let's just copy this instead of typing that all out. Let's try this. Slightly less subtle. I'm going to say we go with that and call that good. All right. Let's see. Inside the container, I know we had that header section, so let's grab that next. And since we're using the PostCSS preset env, we can do like native CSS nesting in here if we want to. Now, again, these font sizes, they're not giving me a whole lot to work with, but let's take the, let's see how this, I'm pretty sure it's like this. And let's just say font size to like 0.2 rem just to make sure it's working. Okay, perfect. Let's say something like 2 rem. That might be a little too big. It's hard because I got this. Let's do like 1.5 rem, which means maybe I should also come up here to the body and say font size. Let's do like 1.1 rem, something like that. And that will give us something to base that off of. So maybe this needs to be a little bit bigger. And again, we're kind of just guessing on this because I don't actually have real stuff to work with, so that's fine. We also should set this color to something. I'm guessing it's this very dark blue. Very dark blue, like that. Yeah, okay. Oh, and I do see hover states now. I didn't see that before in the original thing, but okay. So we'll have to pay attention to those hover states too. Font size is that. I think we're good there. The other thing I want here is display flex, and then justify content space between. And then this is actually going to need to be nested inside of my, what did I call that? Title. Sure. Let's also close that down. So title, display of flex as well. Let's do align items center and like a gap of 0.5 rem. And then inside here, we'll have it, we'll have another nested thing for that H1. All right, that should work mostly. Yeah, I think that works. Font size looks massive now. Let's leave it at that, okay? Line item center, I think that's right. Yeah. Let's do the same thing here. So align items center. And next we need to grab the badge. And we'll set the background color to my var of blue. And then I'll set the color to my var of white. We'll do some padding on this of like 0 and 0.2 rem, 0.4 rem. And we'll do a border radius here of var radius small. Just have that mimic the top. Sure. See how this looks. See? Yeah, that looks nice. Okay. Now why aren't these next to each other? Just the line height I think is different. So let's go line height here of 1. And let's do the same thing for this badge. And then control it all here. I mean, that's technically in the middle. Does this have to be like baseline or something? Isn't there like a baseline? Yeah. That doesn't really help me either. All right, let's hack it a little bit. And I'll just come in here and say margin top of like 0.2 rem. Sure. That'll work. All right. Back over here, let's also add some padding here of like 2 rem. Maybe that's a little too much. 1 rem. And I guess if this is going to be all here, we just, it's going to be the same all the way around. Actually, it looks a little bit more up top. So we'll do something like that. Okay. All right, the button, let's go ahead and grab that. That is inside this header as well. I don't really like super nesting like this, but it's the only button I think we have. So let's just do it like this. And we'll say font, inherit, take all the stuff you can. Background, none. Border, none. Like that. Let's see. I'm guessing, how does this work on mobile? Let's come over here. So they're just next to each other. So maybe we should actually be using some kind of clamp for these sizes. So let's do that. So let's come up top here. Let's also have a large and a full. And I'm just going to arbitrarily guess there and say 100 view Vmax. Okay. Let's call these like utils. And let's call this fonts, font sizes. And then there's a website, utopia.fyi, that I've used before. It's been a while. But looks like they've added some stuff maybe. Anyhow, you've got a type scale calculator, and it allows you to basically have it larger when you get to larger sizes. So something like that, and then let's set it to 16, 22, something like that, and then the scale's a little bit different. As you go, you can use the clamp, and then just basically copy all these in. So let's do that. And I don't love how these are named, but let's just grab all these then and say font. How about just FS1? And this needs to be -1 and -2, I guess. And then we'll take all these. I guess all that right there. We'll say FS. Okay. So we'll use FS0 on everything basically. So font size will be FS var FS0, I think, like that. Let's jump back over this way. And then it should scale because of this clamp. So it's going to be 1 at the smallest and 1.3 at the largest. So as I go smaller, it should shrink down. And now I just need to make the header responsive too. So let's come in here, say var FS2, something like that. And then it should get substantially bigger. FS3 maybe. That mostly works. I mean, that has to stack a little bit, but what does it do it to? Maybe that's technically better. These are all aligned center too. It's just that that one's a little funky. It's fine. So let's call that good. And let me open back up my design. Let's take active states, sure. And split that and come over here. All right, let's see. On my links, those really should all be the same no matter what. And it shouldn't mess anything up with the images. So let's come up top here maybe. And as one of my utility classes, we'll grab the H and just say, or the A and say it should be font weight bold, because I think they all are bold. Text decoration of none. And then we'll do color var very dark blue. These are stupid names, but that's all right. Let's see, I'm guessing they just hover. It's just on hover that they change. So let's come down here and say, I think it's like this. I get confused between normal CSS nesting, like the one in the spec coming out, and Sass, but I think it's like this. And in fact, what we want is the is hover. I think focus, we do the same thing. So I'd say color, and here we just change this to say blue, I think. There we go. And let's throw a transition on here, and let's do a variable here. We'll call it, maybe we should break these up. And we're not gonna have that much. So let's just do 200 milliseconds, ease in, out, and we'll do it on the background or on the color. So gentle. All right, that's what we want. Same thing up here. Let's see. I guess we should also do all of this. That's not bold though. All the rest of this is the same. So let's come down here to our button and say cursor of pointer. And then we'll also add all that. I think that should work. Why is nothing? Just, it totally abandoned me. I think it's this new profile. It's not reformatting any of that. All right, but as I come in here, it should switch over, and it does. Mark all red. Yeah, that all looks right. Okay. And I guess the other thing we need to do is if it's unread, we need to have, let's check, oops, just this. Yes, if it's unread, it should have this light blue to it, right? Yeah, so let's add some kind of class over here so that if this is, where are we at, down in here? If it's unread, let's just maybe make this a data attribute. And then we could just say n dot is unread. Okay, so if I come over here, I click on this, if I can't see anything, isn't it true? Okay, so then we'll just select that in the CSS. So data is unread. So let's do that. So below the header, I'll do it right here. So if this equals true, then let's add a background color here of, do we have anything on this at all as a class? No, so let's say class equals guard notification. Okay, we'll jump over here then, and maybe what we should do is nest this. So we'll say that and say padding 1 rem or something for now. Then let's move all this inside, and we'll say and that, and also that, like that, I think. Then we'll say var, let's just say blue for now to make sure it's working. Okay, there we go. And then let's figure out what we should do. I'm guessing maybe this, because that one looks darker. So let's go with that and see what happens. Maybe this should be 1 then. That looks better to me. Okay. The other thing we should probably do is stack all those. So we're just looping through those for now, but we probably need these to be spaced out a little bit differently. So the container needs to have a gap on it. And then we also, below the header, we could have this be, see right here, do another wrap, and we could call this like wrapper, sure. Okay, so this wrapper here will have display of grid and a gap like 0.4 rem, 0.6 rem, I don't know, something like that. So they should be a little bit more spaced out. We should also come up here to the container and do display of grid. And here, let's do a gap of like 1.5 rem, 1.4 rem. Space that out a bit more. Now, these all have rounding as well. Come to think of it, I'm not sure which one's the small and the large. Although I guess technically the inside would have a greater radius. So let's do that radius large on the cards. So we'll do border radius of our radius large. That did nothing. Small. Radius. Did I do two dashes? Which is usually what I do for that kind of stuff, so it would not surprise me. Oh, come on, where are you at? Nope, just spelling. Sure, we'll call that good. Okay. It still seems kind of dark comparatively, right? Let's come back up here. What else do we have? Very lightish. Good goodness. All right, let's name it to that. And let's copy this down just in case we need it later. So we'll say very lightish grayish blue. Now that seems too light. We're going to leave it. Okay. All right. The other thing we need is each notification should be display of flex. And let's see. We'll do align items start because it looks like they all start at the top. And then justify content space between to get that one image over. Maybe, and then I'll just group the other two. Divs inside of divs. So I got the image right here and the post text. And the time. Like this. So we'll call this notification. This is why people like Tailwind. Notification content. Sure, whatever. Okay. So I don't want to nest these infinitely. I kind of feel like nesting messes people up, so I don't know that I really want to. Like, you can do it with hover states and stuff like that, media queries and that kind of stuff. Hey, nice, Red. Glad you finished that a couple weeks ago. Hopefully you were even more successful than me. What did I call this? Content. Display a flex. And then this can be, this is actually going to need to be center anyhow. But this here can be start. Okay, I think that works. And then this is over this way. Okay, cool. Let's also then add some gap here. 1 rem. And because I'm using this post CSS preset env, it means it's also kind of safe everywhere else. To use gap for rem, just plain gap for flex. I mean, that seems too much. So let's go here. And then let's do the same thing down here. Sure. Okay. This also needs to be, I need to have a class name on right here. class name. This is just getting ridiculous, but let's just call this post. And we'll do display flex here as well. Is that what I want? I got this post text. Image, this post text goes all the way down below the private message. So post text is what I want as that. Okay. So this will be display grid. Post text will be display flex. Right? Yeah. And then I guess the other thing I should do, let's maybe make this a span. Is that right? If that's a span, then maybe what I should do is just bring this whole thing up like this. I think that makes sense. Just no formatting. Just not going to give me that today. So I think we'll do that. And then, well, then I don't have the proper spacing here. So maybe we just switch this out and I just wrap this in a div. That's also not going to work. Can I just do this? Yeah, okay. That's what I thought I did before, and somehow that didn't work. All right, into the div wrapping land. Okay, so let's come back over here. Let's set this image here. So I need to have some kind of class here. I've like majorly slowed up right now. Let's call it headshot or whatever. Let's speed this thing up. I'm taking forever. I'm getting bored and I'm doing it. So if you're enjoying it, great. Let's do width of like 100 pixels. Maybe a little bit less than that. Let's do 50 pixels. Let's use our FS 5, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, something like that. And that way we can get bigger as we go and smaller. It didn't do anything. Oh, it's because it's rems. Let's just do like 50 pixels. All right. I think that's good. Let's see. We've also got to switch out that link to fit inside here as well. Like that. And then give it spacing like that. Okay. That should work. Now, got just a couple things left. Let's style this private message, I think, for now. I can't see anything with how zoomed in this is. Let's grab this private message class. I'll do aspect ratio 1/1 just in case for some reason it gets stretched. And here we'll say background color. I think it's actually this right here. That's why I wanted to save that. There we go. And we'll do padding of like 0.2 rem, 0.5 rem, 1 rem, and then we'll do border radius. Let's just grab this here. Sure, I think that works. Let's do a gap of like 1 rem here. That's too much. Something like that. Actually, I think this actually is going to need another little wrapper, unless See, post text gives me this stuff. The is in red is part of this post text. The time is below here. Okay, so the time, no, I have to have it below that. So I need something on here too. Oh my. Class name. This is the worst naming convention in the history of naming conventions, but I'll come back after this video and change this out for my own sanity. Let's say something like, so the text, why do I need this to be different? Oh yeah, because I need this to be display grid, and this needs to be like gap of 0.2 rem. Oh, I can't do that because the whole point of it. Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's come back over here. Let's get rid of that. Because all I want is, what is this? Link text. I want the time to just be closer. So let's just wrap this in another div. Sure. Okay, so those are close. I already have this time. Let's change that. Let's get moving, Chris. Time, color, var. Let's do grayish blue. Does that look right? Yeah, that looks pretty good. See, do I have anything else to do? I guess this right here. How's this? Post text. This needs to be align items center. And then, or does it? What does this look like a mobile? So it's just at the end of all that, always. So I guess this really doesn't have to be flex at all, which means I probably also don't need this post text at all. I'm just going to move the unread right here up to see, that should work, right? Let me see how this is broken out over here. There. This is just a span. Did I make this like display block or something weird? What in the world? What was that about? Display inline block maybe, but not block. Okay, let's do that, and let's just add some margin left, like 0.2 rem. Line height, we'll do 1.5 rem or 1.5 like everything else. No, that doesn't work. Let's just do margin top for now. Just to move on. Nope. What am I wanting this to do? It's aligned with the baseline. Well, let's start by saying var red. And then this needs to be a good bit smaller. 0.8 rem. Okay. And that might be sufficient. Yeah, okay. All right, so I come over here and I click. Let's get rid of this. Let's see, I also probably need some kind of cursor on the notification. So let's do cursor of pointer. Maybe we do it only if it has data untrue. How about that? So these don't, this one does. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that overall. I need to set some kind of let's see. Let's change this up to, let's say, var. Let's use our fs here. fs4 var fs2. Why is that not working? Because it should be based off rems. Right? Oh, I'm doing dashes. Something like that. And then if I get bigger, it should expand a bit. If I get smaller, it should go down a bit. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that overall. Let's just cap this thing in the middle, and then we'll call this done. Do we have time to move this over to JSON and like dynamically load it or whatever? I'm not sure. Let's go container. Let's do a hotshot way. We'll do margin inline, and here we'll do max and calculate 100 view width minus 70 rem divided by 2, or 2 rem, whatever is bigger. So it should cap itself in the middle at some point. Did I do that right? It's too smaller. Oh, class. Name. Okay. Well, so much for doing it the hotshot way. That didn't work. Margin inline, isn't that what I'm trying to do? I think so. Side to side. Do I need to wrap this calc? Oh, I just had this parenthesis in the wrong place. So I need it like this. And then, let's see, do I have an extra? Now I really want to do this. Okay, so I'm going to take calc over here, or 2 rem, whatever is bigger. Is it min? I don't think so. I forgot how to do this because I haven't done it in a while. Oh well, let's just say max width of like 800 pixels. Sure. And then margin, well, it's already left and right. Maybe it's because it's a grid child. Okay, so we're going to call that mostly done. I mean, I think that looks fine to me. I can click on these links that go nowhere. And I guess when I click it, it marks the notification, but I guess I'd want that because if I'm going to the page, I want to mark that it's been read. Same thing here with Mark's head, Mark's post. This hasn't been the case, but yeah, I think that works. Okay. All right, so that's basically done. CSS took longer than it should have, but yeah. Can we use nested class styling, or do we have to configure post CSS? Yeah, no worries. I configured it with post CSS. Hey, I'm glad you like it. Yeah, so I set it up with post CSS earlier. All right, should we even attempt? What time is it? Should we attempt this? No. All right, I probably will just get it set up. So let's do a PMPM. What's that thing called? Json-server. I think it's just PMPM Json-server. Yeah. Okay. Then let's create, I guess, inside this, let's do like db.json, something like that. And then what I'm going to do is take my state here, and let's grab all of this, and strip it out of here so we can actually load it live. All right, now if you're still here from the very beginning, let me know in the comments, because you officially win the award for sticking around for a long time today. And I think this needs to be an object, and then this should say something like notifications, and then there. So this will mimic basically a server is the idea. We could even write to this, like we could have a little form. Usually when I do these, and I'll probably do this after this video is done, but once my kids get up, there's not much use live streaming, but I will probably add some kind of form where you can add additional ones or whatever on a separate page just to see it populate, and you can write to this server, which is kind of cool. So now you need to say pm. Let's see if I can remember this. Json-server watch db.json. See what happens. Something? All right. So, oh, I added it to the wrong section. So I need to add this to the top. Okay. So that means there's a trailing comma that it hates. I'm sorry. All right, there we go. So now I should be able to pull this up, and now I get an actual, API callback from my notification server. That means I can come over here now and say pnpm run dev, and this should run my actual Vite project over this way. Now it should yell at us. Actually, it shouldn't, because we set it up like that. So we should be good there. Now for this use state, what I need to do is pull in use effect. Maybe I'll just talk through what I would do. Whether or not we actually end up doing it is a separate topic. But I'd pull this in on load like this. Or maybe create my own custom hook. And React especially is something I'm really just feel like I'm just getting my mind around. So I don't feel crazy comfortable working in React, but I think it's good for me to do it. So that's why I'm doing it. So let's do like fetch data or something like that. Yeah, I think this will work. And let's make this async. And we'll await the fetch of the URL that is right here. Just once is plenty. Oops, this can't be await. This can be like request. Await. Okay. Let's come back over here. And then maybe let's call this res. We'll call this JSON await res.json. And then this should be, I can just set notifications to JSON. Okay, and then I need to call this fetch data down here. Let's see what it's saying that it doesn't like. Okay, so up here I need to do the same thing. So I need to say notifications. All right, now it works. Cool. So now we're pulling that from the server. Now this is just state here. I'm not actually updating it on the server, but at least we're pulling it from it. Now what I should do is basically bind the two together to where, should I try this? I mean, the answer is no, but what I could do is, let me talk through what I probably would do, and then I probably should kill this because I don't think I can do this from scratch from the top of my head without it just being annoying to watch. So I'll do it afterwards, and then I'll throw this up on GitHub, and you can look at what I did. But so I think what I would do is I would make a custom hook here, and it would return to me data, probably a pending state where I could have like pending notification showing here, an error state if there was a problem, which, you know, I probably should also have like a try catch block even here. So we can maybe at least do that, pull this stuff up. And then maybe right here, because, well, let me show you in a second, but we'll do error log here, or error check. And then I'll do catch any errors. And then we'll do, sure, we'll just console.log the error. Sure, that should work. Okay. Or maybe we could do the error.message, because I should get some kind of message back. If I come in here. And just to show that this is actually working, let's open up the db.json, and let's change this to like false and refresh, and it should, yeah, so you see how it is actually live, pulling from that actual data. Okay. Okay, so what I would do is I would set this to a custom hook and strip out all this logic to that hook. And then what I would do is have probably a URL parameter I pass into it, where I could tack on like a query param of like ID equals 1 or whatever. So if I do that, you see I just get the first one. And then when I pass this in, I could also pass in a separate thing, which would be like a method. And I might, in that case, I would do like a put method and update the one piece of state each time I update something, if that makes any sense. So, and I think I would do that down here in the set handle notification click, and same thing over here, and probably extract the logic of that out to a separate function that does both things. I think that's what I would do. But I guess if I'm pulling, yeah, no, I think that's what I'd do. Or I'd have that set notification directly in the hook. Anyhow, I think that's what I would do as far as mimicking it to the server, because right now, even though this works live, as soon as I refresh, it's all back to the original data. So it's not actually updating the server data. And here, real quick, if I come in here, in console log the res, you see that I get a response back. So if it's like an invalid URL, so something like that, I'll get a response either way. But now it's going to throw all these errors because it still gets down to here. So it keeps moving because I'm actually getting this back. So what I want to do is check the status. I could do a status code, but really what I want to do is just check if it's okay. So I'll do like if res.okay, and I would say if not okay, then I could throw a new error, right? And just be like prob bob. Okay. So now I just get prob bob because that doesn't work. Whereas if I do this, then it comes over. All right, and it catches the error message right here. So anyhow, that's how you would handle that kind of possibility of an error. And then, like I said, I think you could fetch this data with a different method and just push an update whenever you update the UI. Or tie the UI to like a refresh of the JSON state after you just update that. So maybe that's the better way. Anyhow, I think that's what I would do, but hopefully that's helpful. Let me transition back over. I hope you enjoyed that. I don't know. I really like doing these kinds of projects, and thankfully this one we got to the end on, and I think it looks pretty close to how it's supposed to look. I do have family coming to town the next couple weeks, so I'm going to do my best to get some stuff recorded Saturday, but I might have to take a little breather on the channel just because they're going to be sitting here or sleeping down here in my office, so not much I can do about that, but we'll see what I can do to get a couple things ahead. They may just be a little smaller videos than normal. All right, well, thanks so much for following along. Like I said, I will throw this up on GitHub. I'll probably stop it at this point and then maybe do a separate branch where I like fully figure out how to how to manipulate the data on the server as well. But I hope this was a help to you. Thanks so much for following along and watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Happy coding.